Hello, I'm Betsy Cooper, a member of the League of Women Voters of Kitsap. The League of Women Voters does not support or oppose candidates, but works to provide information about the candidates and issues before the voters. We are interviewing the candidates that will appear on your primary ballot, which you should receive in the mail about mid-July. In this interview, we are asking 3 questions, and the candidate will have 90 seconds to answer each question. To get started, though, let's get to know Ben Anderson. Ben, you have 90 seconds to introduce yourself and tell us why you've chosen to run for the office of Bremerton School Board, Position 5.
Great. Well, first, thanks for having me here. Again, my name is Ben Anderson. I was born and raised here in Bremerton after graduating Bremerton High School in 1998. From there, I had a drive to serve my country and join the U.S. Coast Guard and graduated from the Coast Guard Academy in 2002. I served 10 years active duty, traveling around the world, and then I shifted to the reserves for the next 10 years after then retiring in 2022. In about 2011, I joined the family business, Art Anderson Associates engineering firm in downtown Bremerton. And since then, I've taken over as president and CEO, and my wife and I purchased the company several years ago, and we run it together with about 35 employees, again, here in Bremerton. We raised 3 kids in the Bremerton School District, 1 at each level, 1 high school, middle school, and 1 at Crown Hill. And we're both very active in our community and within the schools, volunteering on many different levels. I guess just in general, I've always been very proud of where I grew up. I'm a big Bremerton cheerleader about my community, and of course, the school district that supported me and got me to where I am today. My family and I are big supporters just in general of the school district. We held up signs for the levy, we donate, and we attend sporting events. We always speak very highly of the school district when talking with our friends and other family members. Even with all this kind of positive talk about the district, I still believe there's room for growth and improvement, and that's really why the reason why I threw my name to run for this position.
Thank you, Ben. Now for our first question. What is your view of the role of the school board and its members?
Yeah, well, ultimately, our role is to, represent our constituents in the Bremerton School District area. To provide a goal of the best educational experience for all children. And I kind of break this down to 3 different areas, and the school board policy does kind of direct what the roles are as well. But one is we have 1 employee. We hire the superintendent, and our job is to oversee their operations and make sure that they're doing their job. 2, and maybe most important, is really to set the vision and the goals for the district. And this should be in a combined effort with not just the board and the staff, but also the community. And I think the board recently did that. I know they recently did that with the strategic plan a year ago. And it really that creates an ultimate environment where the children have, the opportunity to get the maximum potential. And one of the 3rd main goals, or not goals, but objectives of the board is to provide financial oversight. And this is a pretty challenging one at the moment, given our current state. With funding concerns and declining student enrollment and costs going up. So those 3 main goals, they all include community engagement, keeping people accountable, and making sure decisions that are made are really in the best interest of all kids.
Okay, thank you. On to the second question. How do you plan to communicate and engage with parents and the community to learn their views and concerns?
Yeah, this is a great question. Before I was selected to fill a void in the board in February, I had the same kind of question in my mind. It really is a challenge to communicate to the public when not all the public communicates on the same stream. The website is probably the easiest way to provide information to the community. And most people have access to that. However, the website can be kind of cumbersome and challenging to find information that you really are looking for, and it's not very personable. There are updates there about our strategic plan, so it is a great source of information. Board meetings are a great way to communicate and to have your voice heard. Those can be attended in person or via Zoom. Parent Square is another tool that all parents have. However, obviously, all the constituents don't necessarily have children within the school district. What I would really like to set up this next term as a board member is a way for us to communicate future problems to the constituents so that there's time to communicate what those challenges are, to get input from the community, such that when decisions are made, there's some background information that has been provided to everybody, and it's not just an all of a sudden decision that people are shocked by. And those can be held in different forums, by meetings, quarterly meetings, so that people can come and talk to board members, share their thoughts, and make sure that we're as close to the same page as we all can be on any given issue.
Okay, thank you. Now our final question. The district recently hired a new superintendent. What type of goals would you propose for them, and how would you hold them accountable?
Yeah, that was a pretty interesting process to be part of the selection of a new superintendent. It was new for me. I've hired a lot of people in my time as an employer, but this is a pretty important decision, so I did not take it lightly. First of all, let's start by saying I'm pretty optimistic. I'm very optimistic about Dr. Slade McSheehy. His personality and his past experiences and successes, I think, line up well with what Bremerton needs. One of my primary goals for Dr. McSheehy as he comes in here is really raising the overall academic performance within the school district. This includes everything from grades to state test scores to graduation rates. But in order to get to that point, I think there's a lot of smaller goals that need to be accomplished simultaneously. Higher attendance rates, better alignment of academic curriculums, and in my opinion, better communication between the district staff and the school buildings to really address some of the needs that I see needed. Our strategic plan also is a good tool to be used. Dr. McSheehy had great success at Vashon Island implementing his strategic plan there. So not only do we need to address those 4 goals in a strategic plan, but we need to communicate that back, the successes and the failures that the district's having to the community. So that's another stepping point. But in general, I think it's going to take him some time to see what's needed. He's going to have to spend the first several months observing and not just taking feedback, but watching and seeing what he thinks needs to be addressed. I think that's going to take some time. And of course, accountability is key. This needs to be done with regular updates, trackable metrics, and some action plans for those areas that we think he needs to address.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Ben Anderson, for running for this office and sharing your views. On behalf of the League of Women Voters of Kitsap, thank you for watching, and please share this video. Don't forget to return that ballot by 8 p.m. on Tuesday, August 5th. Hello, my name is Betsy Cooper. I'm a member of the League of Women Voters of Kitsap. The League of Women Voters does not support or oppose candidates, and it works to provide information about the candidates and issues before the voters. We are interviewing the candidates that will appear on your primary ballot, which you should receive in the mail about mid-July. In this interview, we are asking 3 questions. The candidate will have 90 seconds to answer each question. But first, let's get to know Linda Osborn Simpson. Linda, you have 90 seconds to introduce yourself and tell us why you chose to run for the office of Bremerton School Board position number 5.
Good morning. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you today. Although I grew up in the central portion of California, my husband was born in Bremerton and grew up in Gorst. We moved here from Alaska after he separated from the Army in 1997 and have lived here ever since. I earned a bachelor's degree in biology from the University of California, Santa Cruz, and a master's degree in elementary education from Old Dominion University, and hold a Washington State teaching certificate. I was a Boys and Girls Club educator when the program was at Naval Avenue Elementary School. I'm a disabled minority veteran and proudly served in the United States Navy Reserves. As a former member of the Bremerton School District Citizen Task Force and a parent of two special needs graduates of Bremerton High School, class of 2016 and transition program 2020, I bring personal experience and deep commitment to advocating for inclusive education. I understand firsthand the importance of early childhood education, intervention programs, and the need for strong collaboration among teachers, paraprofessionals, counselors, and families to ensure every student's success.
Thank you, Linda. Now for our first question. What is your view of the role of the school board and its members?
The role of a school board is to establish policies in accordance with federal and state laws and to guide the superintendent in implementing them. At its heart, this role carries one essential responsibility: ensuring every child's success on their terms and toward their future. Every student, regardless of ability, deserves personalized support to build a strong foundation for adulthood. To truly improve student outcomes, we must reimagine the traditional relationship between students, teachers, and families. One approach is to adopt a mentorship model in which teachers remain with student cohorts through key academic transitions, K to 5, 6 to 8, and 9 to 12. This continuity fosters trust, consistency, and long-term academic support. Today, only 30.1% of Bremerton High School students meet grade level standards in science, 26.1% in math, and 52.9% in English language arts, OSPI 2023-24 report card. These aren't just statistics, they reflect students being left behind. To re-engage disaffected students, those who feel school no longer speaks to them, we must offer meaningful hands-on learning opportunities. Opening the Skills Center to middle school students would provide earlier access to career pathways and project-based learning, helping them stay motivated and connected to their future.
Okay, thank you. To address some of the things you mentioned, the second question, how do you plan to communicate and engage with parents and the community to learn their views and concerns?
Reaching families where they are. A recent poll shows that more Americans are getting their information from podcasts than from newspapers, news programs, or even social media. To connect with more families in an accessible, consistent way, I plan to partner with a local, ideally Bremerton-based, podcaster and appear as a weekly guest. Each month, I'll participate in 4 episodes. Week 1, a short recap of the latest Bremerton School Board meeting, followed by answers to listener questions. Weeks 2 to 4, community Q&A and a calendar of upcoming school events, opportunities, and ways to get involved. Each time, I'll share my cell phone number and email to ensure families can reach me directly. Accessibility and transparency are essential. As a former PTA officer and active parent, I understand that many families, due to work, multiple jobs, church, extracurriculars, or simply needing time to rest, can't always attend school events. But when families have concerns, they usually find a way to reach the school board. When they contact me, I'll be there to listen and respond. Our schools thrive when families, neighbors, volunteers, local businesses, and board leaders work together. I won't pretend to have all the answers, but I bring experience, dedication, and a genuine commitment to listen, collaborate, and act in the best interests of our students.
Thank you. And our final question, the district recently hired a new superintendent. What type of goals would you propose for them, and how would you hold them accountable?
Top priorities for the new superintendent. Of the many challenges ahead, 3 priorities must come first. 1, identify the causes of low achievement. Student performance across all grade levels is far too low. We need to determine why. Is it the curriculum, class size, education policy, or have we moved too far from teaching the basics, reading, writing, and math? Clear answers must guide targeted solutions. 2, raise outcomes through personalized learning. Test scores must improve, but not by pushing every student down the same path. Not all students are college bound, but all deserve an education tailored to their strengths and goals. As the parent of two successful autistic young adults, I've seen how personalized IEPs can change lives. Let's apply that mindset, individualized goals and progress tracking to every student. 3, fix the budget bloat. In 2008 to 9, Bremerton schools served 4,700 students with a $52.4 million budget. Today, we serve 4,200 students with a $103 million budget, a 49% increase despite a smaller student population. Inflation doesn't explain that. For comparison, the price of a loaf of bread rose just 29% during the same time period. We must ensure funds are used responsibly and focused on student success. If we don't see meaningful progress in 2 years, we should reevaluate leadership. Our students can't afford to wait.
Thank you, Linda.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And thank you, Linda Osborn Simpson, for running for office and sharing your views. On behalf of the League of Women Voters of Kitsap, thank you for watching, and please share this video. And don't forget to return that ballot by 8 p.m. on Tuesday, August 5th. Thank you. Hello, I'm Betsy Cooper, a member of the League of Women Voters. The League of Women Voters does not support or oppose candidates, but works to provide information about the candidates and issues before the voters. We are interviewing the candidates that will appear on your primary ballot, which you should receive in the mail mid-July. In this interview, we are asking 3 questions. The candidates will have 90 seconds to answer each question. To get started, though, let's get to know Mary Devery. Mary, you have 90 seconds to introduce yourself and tell us why you've chosen to run for the office of Bremerton School Board Position 5.
Hi, I'm Mary Devery. I've lived in Bremerton all my life. I just retired at the Bremerton School District after 42 years at the middle school. My dad was the chief of police at Bremerton. Let's see, I adopted 6 children from the foster care system in Bremerton, and I want to run for the school district because the teachers are working hard, the students are working hard, and the systems need to be changed.
Okay, thank you, Mary. Now for our first question. What is your view of the role of the school board and its members?
I believe the role of the school board members is to make sure that the district is running at its best levels, and that they need to make sure they know exactly what the administration is doing to provide that for the students and the teachers and the parents.
Okay. Oh, do you have a little more? Oh, you're good. Okay.
Yeah, my role is to make sure that all voices are heard, but voices of the students, voices of the parents, voices of the teachers, and the administrators in the buildings.
Okay, thank you. On to the second question. How do you plan to communicate and engage with parents and the community to learn their views and concerns?
Well, I think, well, since I've been teaching for 42 years in Bremerton, I think that's going to be pretty easy for me, because I'm hoping most people have heard my name and therefore they can come up and just talk to me. And if not, I will make sure they have my phone number. They can call, they can contact me on my emails, and I will listen. And I intend to make sure that I'm at those meetings and before and after, so they can talk to me at the school board meetings.
Okay, thank you. Now, our final question. The district recently hired a new superintendent. What type of goals do you propose for them, and how would you hold them accountable?
Well, my hope is that they use the strategic plan that's already been in place and they start working that strategic plan. They spent a lot of money on it. They got a lot of community involved. They had parents involved. They had teachers involved, administrators involved, and they haven't really done anything with it. And I think they should. So I'm hoping that he will use that strategic plan or come up with something else to start bringing up and to start figuring out the reasons test scores are low, the reasons that that there's a huge absenteeism rate, that they need to start fixing those problems and not just identify it as a teacher problem or a student problem. It's a we problem and we need to fix it.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Mary Devery, for running for office and sharing your views. On behalf of the League of Women Voters of Kitsap, thanks for watching, and please share this video. Don't forget to return your ballot by 8 p.m. on Tuesday, August 5th.